So what we want to be able to do in this particular section is find the slope. And slope formula is right here, which is basically subtracting your y coordinates and putting it over your x coordinates and reducing that fraction. So the change in y and the change of x, similar to our rate of change. So let's look at our first example. We have our two coordinates. So I'm going to do the change, and I'm just going to take the first y, 3, and I'm going to subtract it from 5. And I'm going to put my first x, and I'm subtract it from 2. And when I do that, I'm going to get a negative 2 over a negative 6, which reduces to 1/3. Now, just for fun, I want to go ahead and do it the other way around. What if I took the second coordinate and did the subtraction? If I go 5 minus 3, and then 2 minus a negative 4, I'm going to end up with 2 over 6, which is the same exact answer. So it makes no difference which way you subtract as long as you go the same direction. So our second example, we want to find the slope of a line that passes through each pair of points. So the slope is, I'm going to take my first y and subtract my second y, and my first x and subtract my second x. And if you do this in your calculator, you'll get positive 4, I believe, and that's the slope. Right now we're going to find the slope of a line, and to do that, we can do it in two different ways. The first way is to find coordinates that are on exact points. So if we look at this 1, 2, that point right there is negative 2, 0. And if we look at this point right here, that's 0, negative 3. So once we have 2 points, we can find the slope. Or the other way is to do your change in y over change of x. So if I were to go from this point and go over 2 and down 3, it would be down 3 and over 2 would be down 3 and over 2. So our slope should be 3.5. So let's figure if that's what it is when we figure this out. So if I go 0 minus 3, and I go negative 2 minus 0, I'm again up with a 3, negative 2. And so I end up with that slope. So you can do the change by going counting, or you can do the subtraction with the coordinates. So let's look at this problem right here and see if we can find coordinates. It looks like we can find a coordinate right there, which would be a negative 1, 0. And looks like we can find a coordinate right there, which is 1, 1. And I could also do it as a change. I'm going up 1 and over 2. So let's see if we get 1/2 when we do this problem. So I'm going to go y minus 1 over negative 1 minus 1. And that's going to be a negative 1 over negative 2, which reduces to 1/2. And that's our slope. So let's look at our last problem here. I'm going to pick a point. There's a point right there, and there's a point right there. So that point is 0, negative 2. And another point is negative 1, 2. And if I subtract those coordinates, negative 2 minus 2 over 0 minus negative 1, I get negative 4 over 1. So my slope is negative 4. I don't know if you've noticed, but each of the slopes correspond to how the line looks. When the line goes from left to right down, we have a negative slope. If the line goes from left to right up, we have a positive slope. So this slope, that way if you do your math wrong and you end up with a positive or negative number, you can look and see, I should get a negative answer, and I do.